I think this was actually about 2 hours ago. So I decided to short this position. My take profit was going to be down here. My entry was following this bearish candle. Stop loss was somewhere here. There we go. That was pretty much the setup that I was looking for. And following this rejection, let's go on to the 5 minute. Oh, I actually messed up. It was following this bearish candle. So it's a good thing I saw that so that you guys don't get messed up, right? I saw that the price spiked up, created this high, dropped down, spiked up higher. So I was like, okay, this is your liquidity sweep. We're tapping into resting orders, as that's what liquidity sweeps are. It's not the only region where liquidity lies. I think that's a big misconception for a lot of traders. They think liquidity is only above previous highs or lows. It's not. It's pretty much resting everywhere, but this is where you have resting orders. And following this short, I took it. I think I was barely up, maybe just a little bit. And then it pushed up and went against me. Nothing crazy, just took a loss. Obviously, yesterday, there were more shorts I could have taken. Definitely good opportunities, especially after the spike up and the spike down. And so, yeah, I agree with you, man. I was expecting a bearish movement today. And when it didn't happen, it just didn't happen. But I consider this a probable loss. But the one thing I will say is I am glad I put my stop loss there because it took me out as this was continuing to push higher. So you have a good stop loss in a trade that you took with a probable loss. If your stop loss gets hit, you're not taking an enormous loss, right? You're not breaking the bank. And if the chart just continues pushing against you, right? It's a bad stop loss. If, let's say, I place this stop loss here and then I see the chart is moving higher and then I keep pushing it back, right? That's just like a bad emotional reaction. And I've made this mistake years ago. I know some of you might still make these mistakes, and that's totally fine, but this is a bad stop loss because you're pushing it back and it no longer serves any logical purpose, right? The whole purpose of it is to mark out, okay, this is the highest level where if price hits this, I'm exiting for a reason. Or if this was a bullish setup, it would be the lowest level. I specifically put it there because I knew that, all right, we pushed up. These are the two highs I was targeting. It also swept this previous high from 1 a.m. So that was, right before the London session. I was like, all right, if we're creating this type of formation, you're not going to return back to these highs unless the bias is flipping. And that's what happened here. So that's why logically it pushed up, took out this high. I'm out. Temporarily it might have looked like a short, but I knew that, all right, we're way too high up. And that's the thing. You might spot a liquidity grab, but if the price continues pushing higher and higher, or it's inching lower and lower, it's no longer a liquidity grab. At that point, the move just flipped. I think anyone who always tries to decipher and make logical sense as to why they took a loss, that, oh, it's always a learning experience or you shouldn't have taken it, that's bullshit. It really is. You trade long enough, you're going to realize that, okay, you're going to take these losses, but it doesn't matter. In the end, it's all about your long-term trajectory. Here's also a quick tip. If you place a logical stop loss and the price hits your stop loss and, everything's reversing and now going against you, that's also a good trigger for you to reverse your position. So I could have entered a long here, but I'm not a huge breakout trader. Or I could have entered following this formation. So that's where we took out this high, we pushed down, and what do you know? You have a bullish candle, you could re-enter. This would have been an ideal long. I think that might be a question some people have, like, okay, I took a loss. Should I now enter the opposite position? Not always. It depends. In this case, I probably could have taken it. In hindsight, this would have been a solid trade setup. Stop loss probably like 10 ticks, at least 10 to 15. And then you could go for like a 1 to 2 minimum. Yeah, it is a game of probability, because if you take one good trade a day, and let's say you take 5 in a whole week, let's say you take 5 trades the whole week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 2 of those days, let's say, are losers. 3 of them are winners. You're still profitable. I've never been a fan of taking multiple trades per day beyond like 5, maybe 6. Anytime I've ever had a track record of taking like 10 trades in a day, I feel like I've underperformed. Biggest reason as to why a lot of professional traders lose money is they tend to overtrade, because you're lowering the quality of your setup, you're increasing the quantity, And that's just a recipe for disaster, because now you're no longer hunting for that A plus setup, hell, even a B rated setup. Now you're taking these C and D rated setups, because A or B rated setups are not going to be presented to you every single day, multiple times a day. They're not. Some days they don't show up at all. Some days you might get 2 or 3, but it's not like something that's happening every single hour. Truly. Maybe if you're a scalper, it's different. But for intraday swing traders like me, you're not catching these moves every single minute. You're just not. It's the best way to explain it. Even if you're trading demo or on a small account, if you just get in the habit of following your plan, eventually the nerves go away and eventually you stop over trading. So that kind of ties into my last point. I can guarantee if you've back tested your plan, you will realize that trading all the time is not good. So if you simply follow your plan, you're not going to overtrade. That's what I find. Anyone who doesn't follow their plan, they end up overtrading. It's really that simple.